9 times out of 10, you're not gonna say nothing.
Not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say a word. And that's just me. Period. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm definitely gonna bite my tongue and hold my breath and just let it go.
Yeah.
Because
But is that right?
It's not right. It's not.
Is that right? Like, I feel like the family dynamic needs a big reset.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Melanin Mindset. If it is your first time coming to see us, welcome. If you are
Welcome, everybody.
If you are returning, go ahead and welcome yourself right on back. Come on in, have a seat. You're in the right place. I am the Happy Dreamer.
And I am Kia Blaine.
And we together are the Melanin Mindset.
Melanin Mindset.
Best friends, just having conversations with our friends out here in viewer land. So we are going to be talking tonight about rush-in relationships, y'all.
So what do we mean by rushing relationships? We are going to be talking about why are you rushing to get into a relationship, and what are you sacrificing to be in said relationship?
Are you all ready to have that conversation this evening? We're going to be talking about the things you're sacrificing for these relationships. Now, we're not going to revisit the definition of relationship. We're not going back there. But we are going to jump into why exactly people are pressed to be in these relationships. So, a friend, would you like to go ahead and take it away?
Well, so this conversation came about, of course, because you're talking to friends, you're talking to family. It's the holiday season, and if you don't know, they call this cuffing season, and a lot of people are looking to be cuffed this season, and that simply means like being with somebody, being in a relationship, so that when you go to family functions and you don't spend Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve alone, people are jumping into relationships very quickly without really thinking. It's just like, I just need a man, or I just need to be with somebody.
Right? I don't want to be the single family member at the function, right?
Yes.
We should have screenshotted the thing we saw on Facebook where the guy was like he was going to be somebody's date for the holidays.
Oh, yeah, and he was charging. That was actually my brother's friend. It was like, if you want me to laugh at your mom's jokes, it's going to cost this. An additional charge if you want me to propose.
Listen, it was one I had saw. I've seen something like that before. The fact that your brother knows somebody who actually posted the stuff is crazy. But yeah, I saw one. They talking about something. If you want me to be saved, do you want me to say prayer at dinner? Like, I'm willing to be all of that for the holidays.
Yes,
but just for a nominal fee.
Just for a nominal fee. And basically, that's what you're doing when you rush into these relationships. You're selling yourself, or you're being bought into something that's inauthentic. Is that a word? Not real.
It could be a word tonight, inauthentic. And we're gonna throw it around. That'll do. Okay. That'll do. But it's like, look at the bigger picture. What exactly are you giving up? And this is not just for the women. This could go for the men as well. Sometimes you don't want people to be like, oh, he's been by himself all this time, he's got 15 dogs and his laundry hasn't been done in a month. So he got to show up with a girl, a pretty girl too, on his arm. So that way it comes across or presents better when he's around family. So just know women are not the only ones guilty of these rushing relationships. Cause listen, you're not rushing in alone.
Yeah.
You're not rushing in alone.
It takes two to tango.
Facts. So are you all picking up? We want to know, are people getting into relationships present day because of a connection, or is it just because someone has piqued their interest? What do you think, Ia?
I mean, from what I'm witnessing and what I'm seeing, even on TV, on these so-called reality shows, and it's always superficial. It's like,
or stage.
There's a guy, I can't think of his name. His whole brand talking to women about getting high dollar men or high value men.
I know his
And
name.
it's like, what is there anything else behind that other than you just want this man because he's high value?
Now I gotta look him up. I want to say Kevin Samuels.
I think that is his name. You might be right. It's Samuels Williams something. It
I
might be
think it's
Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, y'all. Listen, it's Kevin Samuels. I had to go on YouTube, y'all, and find out. If you have watched Kevin Samuels, please give us your feedback down below.
Mm-hmm.
Right after you like, comment, and subscribe.
Also, I think too, like friends tend to get in relationships because like if we both single and we was living it up and having fun, and then your friend end up in a relationship, sometimes it's that pressure like, dang, I can't hang with my friend unless I got a man too, or I can't hang with my friends unless I got a girl too. So you get in relationships because other people in relationships.
You know, we talked about that earlier. No, it couldn't have been earlier this week. It's only Monday. We talked about that last week, didn't we? Where we were talking about the being in a relationship, not relationship, going out with singles versus married people.
Yes, I did say that.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay,
Singles versus married.
I just remember growing up and like our house was always the house everybody came to. And your relationship status had nothing to do with whether you were invited. Like if we had a cookout, everybody came to the cookout. Like I don't think, I could be wrong. If any of my family is on here, I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody felt some type of way because people was coupled up. Now 9 times out of 10, most of the people at our cookout probably wasn't coupled up. I don't know. But I just don't remember it being like this stipulation. But since I've moved down here and became friends with people who are mostly married, but I have married friends and single friends, but it just seems like there's this unwritten rule, like if it's going to be an event where it's mostly couples, my single friends won't go. They're just not coming. Or like if I'm having something and they're like, well, who gonna be there? Because if I say all my married friends, then they're not gonna come.
Mm.
Like they might come by and get a plate, but they're not staying.
Like
Male and
I've seen
female.
that. I've seen where the single friend might not want to be singled out or seem like the third wheel now, or the fifth wheel, or the seventh wheel for that
Yeah,
matter.
to me that's
So
different.
I
I don't.
understand, but the
But
gathering,
if it's an event, like if it's Thanksgiving dinner,
right?
and just the majority of my friends at Thanksgiving dinner happen to be married, that don't mean because you my single friend don't come break bread with us.
Right, right. You're still welcome to be there. I don't think that the single versus married thing is as huge. Now, I did have some points that led toward maybe why that is the case, but as we came to the conclusion, it didn't affect our circle. But
Yeah.
if I feel like I can't trust a female around my husband, she not gonna be around me. So
But honestly, if you felt like you
out
couldn't
there.
trust it, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Before it even got to, I don't trust her around my husband. That person would, to me, be an untrustworthy person. So they're
Right.
probably not around me anyway.
Right, spotted from a mile away. Like
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't even get close to me for that matter, you know?
Exactly.
You wouldn't even close to me. The chat says they're not the third wheel, they're a
They're
spare
a
tire.
spare tire.
Oh, I should grab that one. Let me grab that one because I'm about that spare
I just read a whole lot into that.
I did too. That's why I had to grab it. Like, hold
I
up,
had to pause. I'm like, wait a minute. I think Stan needs to elaborate.
I think you need to elaborate. We got to get to where we have our viewers call in. We can set them up to where they don't come on.
Right.
I
I need to
because
know. Like, what
I
you
need
mean
details.
spare tire?
You can't say that and then just move on.
That sounds like some sister wife type of
Right, right. Or it's implying that the guy is looking elsewhere and she's there as the backup plan,
or vice versa.
or vice versa.
It could
Or
be the girl with the extra guy friend, and yeah, let me let you know just in case you mess up. This my spare tire.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
terrible.
Like the spare tire. That's why I had to
Mhm.
grab that one because I was like, hold on now, not a spare tire.
Not a spare tire.
What about self values? We've talked a lot about growth and about self evaluation, self care, things like that.
Mhm.
So, what about self worth? What do you think of yourself if you are just hopping from relationship to relationship? Not saying, now hold up before the internet trolls come out of nowhere, because this would be the video that everybody
Yes,
hears what I
it
had to
would be.
say.
It would be.
But no, what I'm saying is not saying you don't value yourself because you go on a lot of dates. That is not what I'm saying, sis. That's not what I'm saying, bro. But what I'm saying is when you're investing, like as I mentioned before, you got to get out what you're putting in or look for a reward from your investment. So, is this relationship for growth? Is it for personal benefit? Like, what are you putting yourself into and what are you tying yourself to for the sake of this date in the end of
Mm-hmm.
things? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you
Yeah.
sacrificing or putting yourself out there? Like, how are you looking at yourself or how are you looking at these people? Do all of these people appear to be worthy of your time? Like, don't even make it to where you think that you're less than, but do you think they're great enough to be worth your time?
Now I'm gonna be the flip side of what you said, because now we have a lot of people out there who will say they want to be in a relationship or say they're looking for the one, but they are completely unavailable.
Mm-mm.
So it's like sometimes I feel like just because someone, both what you said, but and also on the flip side is like just because someone showed a slight interest and you might not immediately be interested back doesn't mean just write them off or write her off. Like, just think of it as building a relationship as we defined before. Like, this could be a connect. Like, I know she worked in housing, so even if we don't end up in a relationship, I got that plug.
She's oh, not the plug,
I'm
not the
just saying, like, I feel like a lot of, and it's funny because it seems like the mindset of people who are seeking out, they want to be in a relationship. That's what it is. It's like every time somebody says something to you, you think they want to be in a relationship. Sometimes the person ain't even want to be in a relationship. They just trying to be friendly. But because you so guarded, you like, I ain't got time for that. What's your credit score? But I just was trying to ask you what the weather was. Why you want to know
plug.
my credit
How long
score?
they got you filling out whole rental applications? Like, how many years have you been?
Yeah.
How
Yes.
long have you been employed? What is your gross income?
Really?
So, what about when it comes down to influencing these decisions and things like that? So, when we're looking
Yeah.
at what is pushing you into these places, what's fueling the fire? Is it a genuine desire? Is it
Not they thirsty.
Oh man. Hold on.
Mom!
Oh man. Wait, she said something real good before that though. So she said they're looking for a man. I don't think they're thinking about their self-worth.
and
Wow.
that's like that whole thing is such a problem.
Mm.
Like, aside from like you looking for a man, and that's something, I'm sorry, I kind of, it's a little controversial with me that the guy we was talking about, what's his name again?
Kevin
Samuels.
Samuels. Kevin
The way
Samuels.
he said, he'll often ask the women like, what do you bring to the table? and and it's so painful to watch these women answer that question, because it seems like it's so difficult for them to express their self-worth. Like, what do you bring to the table? And even if it's not you expressing that to the person you're pursuing or the person who's courting you, like, you should have a value system within yourself. Like, things that you accept, you won't accept, that you like, that you don't like, that you value. So it's a legitimate question. Like, you really have to think about your self-worth. It's not just you want to get a man, but what do you have to offer?
True. It's what are you doing? You can't even go get a car. You know what I'm saying? You can't even get a car without some valid supporting documentation. Like, you can't go in and open up a bank account without saying what it is. Like, you got to put something into it. So when you walk into the bank, they're looking for a deposit. What are you depositing
Absolutely.
into this relationship? What is your down payment on this house? Have
You
you
see, I'm
secured
getting
your
hot. My glasses
three
fogging up.
costs? You said what?
You see, I'm getting hot. My glasses fogging up.
Oh Lord, is the topic making your blood boil?
No, because I'm sitting here in Florida with a sweater on. That's what the problem is.
Oh Father, I got my
No.
jacket on and I'm still in here cold. My fingers are so.
Oh my gosh.
It says many
One of
women I know want a man to validate their personal status and say that they have every. Ooh. So what you're saying is trying to meet up to the expectations or the views of others, and that is actually.
the Joneses, like the keeping up with the Joneses
Uh
spirit.
huh. Listen, I had first the note I had put was keeping up with the Kardashians, but she was like, we putting the Joneses.
The Joneses. This is the melanin mindset. The Joneses.
But yeah, no, that financial gain. Stan, that financial gain that you're referencing, like you want to perpetrate this status, like you want to present this lifestyle or this vision to other
Mhm.
people. But why? I think that's what we're trying to understand is why. We're trying to meet cultural standards too. And it's like that's
Yeah.
not even your culture, friend.
Like
You know
what's
what I'm saying? Like,
like what's lacking in your own self-evaluation or your life that makes you feel the need to live up to a standard that is make-believe? Like who even came up with it? But everybody is aspiring to this goal or this look or let's be in this relationship or relationship goals. I hate that hashtag because you don't know what's going on
you don't know
behind
what's
that
happening
photo.
behind closed doors. He could be
You do
sitting
not
there
know what's
tonight.
happening behind that photo.
All you see is her makeup is flawless. You see she's smiling in
I
the picture.
mean, let's do
Or
makeup goals, outfit goals, hair goals. I'm down with all of them. But relationship goals, you
right,
don't
like
know.
it does. You don't know exactly what's happening outside of that. Some people in some relationships present one way and are realistically another.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you,
That,
I do post myself and my husband from time to time, but I don't post him nearly as often as I guess by comparison. If I was trying to keep up with the
mhm.
Joneses, I don't
Yeah.
post him nearly enough.
Yeah, and I don't at all. I'm bad. I'm really bad. Like it'd be our anniversary. I look at my husband like, babe, you know I love you, right? I'm not posting nothing. And he don't post nothing either. Like we are definitely those people. Like I use social media is for business if you ask me, because if not, then people be all up in your personal business. So
Listen, as I definitely am one of those. I guard what I say on social media because you never know who's watching or looking or questioning your judgment. So I'm guarded when I post. A lot of my stuff is just shared content and
yeah,
advertisement for the Melanin Mindset.
absolutely.
So it's just what it is.
Absolutely.
I advertise my small business, I advertise Melanin Mindset, and I share a couple things that make me laugh. So with that, it's like you never really, really know what's happening with someone in their relationship because they have that ability to only show you what they want you to see.
Yeah. So to look at a picture or look at a photo of somebody that look nice and say relationship goals, that's really superficial. And I think a lot of times, especially the younger people, are looking at those things and thinking that that's something to aspire to. But what are you aspiring to if you're just looking at a photo?
Right? That status symbol, like what Stan said. It's a status
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's trying to validate your status. You can't set relationship goals off of the unheard or things that you don't quite, know for certain. You can't base things off of uncertainty. So yeah, with social media, it gives a lot of space for us to, do things or say things or even contour things to fit the look that social media would like it to see. Let me see. Then it may seem like something wrong when you don't post your significant. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
honey.
Because
That's
then, yeah, once you start posting, you got a commitment now. Once
yes.
you start posting, when you stop, everybody like, what's wrong? I ain't seen nothing. So yeah, don't.
Like, don't even start because we ain't got time. Don't even start
Yeah,
because
like
I
don't
think
make it up.
I told you somebody asked me. Somebody got in my instant messenger. It was a girl, and she was asking me. She says, "How you been? Blah blah. Are you still married? Am I still married?" What made you
Mm,
ask that? And she's like, "Oh, I saw
Mm.
you haven't posted your husband in a while. I'm sorry, girl. Just checking in, honey." No, no, you wasn't. You was being nosy.
Girl, you was being no touch your nose.
Because I believe I told you about that when I got that message, and she said it's because she hasn't seen me post him on Facebook.
That's interesting.
Because I don't post him. So I had to grab that comment right there because it's a whole fact. If you start and you stop, then it's over. So you got to keep it up. You can't stop. So
Exactly.
you can't
So
stop. Oh,
yeah, and then that causes other people to have more influences on your relationship. Like, just because people see you, I think it was a joke one time when one of these comedians that do like the little skits, he went over to the girl house and knocked on the door and was like, "Where your boyfriend at? You want me to help you beat him up? Because you be complaining about him so much on social media. I think we need to get him together."
oh man, I can't deal. Listen, the fact
And
is,
it was like the girl was like, "Mind your business, girl. You've been posting everything. This is my business. I'm invested."
that's my favorite one when people say, "Oh well, if you don't know me, you can't comment." Well, honey, you done put so much on your social media. I feel like we're besties now. I feel like I know everything about you.
I know you better than you know you. Well,
Listen,
at
I
least
see
this
your emotional
persona.
posts. I see your emotional posts. I be reading them when you in your feelings, sis. I remember last week when you went to
Exactly.
Carrabba's with your girls and y'all got drinks. I was there.
And
I
that
was
drink
there
didn't sit well with you, and all of that. We know all of that.
Listen, I was there when you went live because you and your dude got in an argument and you needed all the witnesses. I was there. So it's like you can't say mind your business. Your business is my business now.
Exactly.
It's our business. It's our business.
So let's talk about, like, from us looking at these hashtag relationship goals and people going into relationships with unreal expectations. Like the whole, or not even going into relationships because they have unreal expectations. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to tag Kevin Samuels in here because I'm about to reference him again.
Bruh, listen, he gonna have
there
yep.
was
Okay.
there was one, and I think everybody saw this one. There was one where he basically was telling the girl she was average at best, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that she was trying to um she wanted a high value man, but she had so much baggage. And it's like, how can you have such high expectations from someone else, and apparently you didn't have them for yourself? Like, oh, my man gotta make 6 figures, 7 figures. Ma'am,
What do you make?
have you ever seen 6 figures? First, let's
And
go
not
there.
on a calculator.
Do you even know how to budget 6 figures? Like, all of that. So, like, it sounds good. Yeah, we all lazy. Heck yeah, we all would like to have a man or a woman that can take care of us. And I know men would like the same as well. Sugar mamas is in full effect in 2021.
Listen, and they gonna level up in 2022, fooling around
Exactly.
with
Exactly.
because
So, like,
it's with her situation when he came for her, and I would say I'm with that 100%. The way I don't like how he approached it, but what he said had value. But there was one part that he made a comment about, and please know, women, Russian relationships are not the solution just because you got kids. Because he made a comment saying she had a 13-year-old or a 12-year-old or something, and
yeah.
he was like, "You
10-year-old
got a whole
single
adult
mother.
already," and blah 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 blah. And he was saying all of that. No, that does not mean that she has to settle. We don't encourage that. But the truth is also understanding what you do have to contribute as you walk into this relationship that you're looking to, obtain or achieve or create. You can't just walk in empty-handed. Like you can't walk in like one of my girlfriends says she doesn't go anywhere with her two long arms. She said she don't go nowhere with her two long arms. She ain't going to nobody's house when it's time to eat. She not going with empty hands, no matter where she's going.
Yes,
She's like, I
yes.
can't walk in with my two long arms, and that's what she's always said.
Exactly.
And it's like a lot of times people walking into these relationships with their two long arms.
With their two long arms. I love it. Hashtag that.
Listen, hashtag two long arms. If you're viewing,
Right. And it's just like, why is it that I think if you actually sat down and thought about it, like, why is it that I want a high value man? Why do you want a high value man? He asked her that. And she says, because the men I talk to just don't seem to be on my level. Well, that's a you problem, ma'am. That is a you problem. What? Look at your circle. I can't think who said it, but show me your closest 5 friends and I'll tell you who you are. So if you hang in circles or you in places where this is what you're attracting or what you end up talking to, people not on your level, whatever level that is, it's because of where you are and what you are surrounding yourself around.
So true. So true. You got to understand you can't build on a shaky foundation, and if you do, it won't stand.
No.
It won't stand. And that's why I had to grab Stan's comment.
Relationship and respect. Absolutely, Stanley. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then also, like, because I feel like a good relationship is based on more than just what you have material wise, right?
Yes.
So just because somebody doesn't have the same level of education or doesn't have the same amount of money in their bank account doesn't mean that we can't actually have a connection.
So true.
I have had some of the most intelligent conversations with teenagers.
Oh, kids are smart. They're
my nephew. Yo, if you ever need to like reevaluate your life, I'm gonna put my nephew on. Like, he will really make you think about stuff that you never even thought about thinking about. So, like, just thinking about, oh, well, I got a master's and he only got his associates. Like, what is that? Or, you know, I have a college degree and he works in a trade. Like, so why can't that person be good for you if you don't ever give it a chance?
Yeah, that's true. You can't really gauge it by social status. Granted, social status plays a part now. Don't get it wrong. Social status will play a part because you can't take somebody who doesn't know how to coordinate at all and just walk into the ballroom with them. You got to get together, okay? But then that comes with the investment, though. What are you willing to invest into your relationship? What are you willing to put in order to get out? You're looking for the perfect girl, right? You're looking for the perfect counterpart, but then you're not willing to put in the work that it takes. A lot of
to identify whether this person is that perfect counterpart.
A lot of people want this microwave person. They want this microwave person. I popped it in the microwave and it comes out exactly like I want it. Perfect heat, perfect flavor, perfect, everything. But that's not how the relationship works, which is where we came from with this Russian relationship situation. It's important to understand that the relationship is not going to be instant. Relationship requires a connection. And if you don't give the opportunity to make the connection, if you don't sit still long enough for it to settle, for the dust to settle, you don't know if you actually walked away from a thing or if you literally stayed for too long. Because we did talk about where it's like, wait, when to leave, when to stay.
Yes.
So like when to leave, when to stay. Now, it's not our place to tell anybody when to leave a relationship or how long the magic number is or how many days or whatnot to stay. I'm not Steve Harvey. I'm not about to give no 30-day rules out or nothing like that.
Okay, the 6-month rule and all of that.
60 days or whatever it was. But the fact is understanding that there is going to be a point where you just know. You're going to feel it. You're going to know. And if your gut is telling you, and you're still sitting still, you've officially stayed too long.
Yeah. And be okay. Be okay with letting it go. Because the longer you stay, the more time you're wasting. there could be somebody out there that's the perfect one for you, but you just sitting around hoping that this is gonna get better. And that's what they say. When somebody tell you who they are, believe them.
Maya Angelou, that's my girl. Someone shows you
Believe them.
believe them. And Ferber says
Yes.
it all the time. Ferber's be like, when they show you, believe them. Because
Yes.
it's true. It's so true. Because if you show me you're a jerk, you conduct yourself like a jerk. When we go do things, you're a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna think you're a jerk. I can't. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, he's so sweet and loving and kind and all of it. No, he is a jerk.
Mm-hmm. Stop saying jerk. You making me have flashbacks of trauma from my childhood. My mama could call you a jerk and you would feel this big. I was about to cry every time you said jerk. She didn't curse, but if she and then she, oh, you was really about to cry. She called you a stupid jerk. It was a combo.
No, not the 1-2 punch. Not the 1-2 punch.
1-2 punch. Okay, I digress. I'm sorry.
But yeah, but in all sincerity though, for real, it's like if you're being presented with foolishness, you can't expect it to just magically change. Now, can you help someone better themselves?
No,
No? I
I
think
say
you
no.
can definitely contribute to
You can
someone better
suggest.
themselves.
You can suggest.
can suggest, you can I'm done.
But
You can suggest,
that
you
is
can
one
encourage.
that is one thing I think a lot of people end up hanging around in relationships forever because you think you can change somebody.
Oh,
And that that is just false. The only person
that
that you can
you change
control
them.
is yourself.
I didn't say you could change them, but it's you got to think about it. Somebody
What
alone
is that? What was the
can
words you used?
inspire. I'm gonna have to watch the playback. I don't know the exact word, but I did not
You
say
said,
change because I don't believe
well,
you can
I don't know.
change.
That's the way they translated to me.
I don't think you can change anybody. Now, I think you can encourage them. I think you can inspire them. Yes,
Absolutely. And we
but
should definitely do that. We should do that with everybody.
that's true. That's true. But in my relation, I'm gonna be real with you, Kia. I encourage you far more than I encourage the person on the street, and I'm sorry. When
But I'm just
I deal
saying,
with my husband,
when the situation presents itself, we
right?
should all be
When I'm dealing
inspired.
with my husband, I definitely handle him with a more gentle hand than I would the next person on the street. So I do make it my business in my I'm married. That's the difference. I make it my business in my marriage to make sure that I am giving that support, that love, that help, that encouragement, that inspiration that I can whenever I can. But if things were just to go like terribly, terribly, terribly south, it's nothing I can do to make a change to that. It's
Mm-hmm.
done, is what I'm saying. So in these relationships, it's that feeling. Whose song is that? I had a gut feeling, right? I just had a gut feeling
Mm-hmm.
that things was changing, things wasn't right. And so it's like if you're feeling that in your gut and you're still saying, oh well, I can help him, or I can, if you think you can change him, think again, honey,
Yeah.
because you can't change them, but you could definitely, absolutely. See, I got a comment right here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate your support.
You can definitely inspire someone.
You can
I
definitely
don't know.
inspire.
I gotta watch the playback because I don't know what words you use,
I,
but it
I, I
made
ain't
me
gonna say
feel
change.
pain.
No, ma'am, ain't no change. But listen, I don't know why I'm on the lyrics tonight. I'm definitely on the lyrics tonight because when I said change, you know what I thought about. Um, but yeah, I really do believe you can support someone, you can encourage someone, you can inspire them, but you're not going to be the deciding factor. That
No,
whole he did it for me. Well, he did it for you to see. He didn't necessarily do it.
do it for you. And you also got to understand that you could have the most genuine intentions of inspiration to inspire someone to do something or be a way that you might think will be beneficial to them. But if it's not genuine or beneficial, if they don't think that, like it's not going to happen.
True.
If they don't feel that what you're inspiring them to do is for them, it won't happen.
at all. And that's the part that people can't let go of.
Yeah.
That's the struggle. Understand or accepting, like you were
Yes.
saying earlier, it's okay to walk away, friend. It's all right
Yeah.
to leave. But understanding that in the place where you decide to leave, in the spot where you are when you feel like it's time to go, that gut feeling really just gave you that unction or that push you needed to get out. But I just lost my thought.
That's okay.
Listen, and I was going somewhere great with that one.
You was, man. You got to come back to that. But also too,
Oh man.
now you made me lose my train of thought.
No, I was basically in a nutshell just saying, like, when you reach that spot where your gut is telling you to go, you need to walk away and just be all right with it. You got to
Yeah.
walk away and know that it's not you that messed up. It's not you that broke it. All right. Now, if you came and brought damage to the relationship, that's another story. But what I'm saying is, we're speaking from a place where sincere people are sincerely looking for something, but they're just missing the mark somewhere. Like you're
Yeah.
rushing in and you're trying to make it work. But what about family? And this is not family in a sense of my family or the other. Like, what I'm saying is in the sense of when someone's in a relationship, family, and I need feedback from the viewers out here. Do you ever find yourself encouraging your older family member who is still single to deal with certain little things here and there? Do
What you
you
mean
ever,
older?
like, say that you have a family member who has I know there's no age for marriage, there's no age for settling down, but some people tend to get antsy once they hit 30. All
Oh,
right.
you mean okay? You mean that's a little further along in age and still
Right.
hasn't settled down?
Right. Still
Okay.
haven't settled down. Do you find yourself encouraging them to put up with certain things because maybe you think their standards might be too high? And what do you think someone's standards can be too high? I want to know, do you
Mm.
think someone's standards can be too high? Now, according to Kevin Samuels, yes, hashtag Kevin Samuels at this point. But according to Kevin
Exactly.
Samuels, like, give him his credit for just a second, even though, yeah. But in all sincerity, can you see where someone is expecting too much for themselves? Is that a thing?
Okay, I feel like you asked two different questions.
All right, what did I say then?
The first question was, do you find yourself as a family member pushing other people to hurry up and get in a relationship or settle for certain things, right? That's what
Right.
you're saying?
So, yeah, but I was just kind of
Like settle for certain things
is there a
because,
that
yeah.
we can over anticipate or be looking for too much?
Yeah, I think a lot of older family members or more traditional family members will like that question. Like every time you come to a family event, that's like, oh, when you gonna get married or when you gonna have kids? Even like when you gonna mind your business. But beside that, like, I think
We're gonna talk about
I
this
think
relationship over
I
here.
think for me, you guys, anybody in this chat, if you know me, you know how I'm straightforward. If you convey to me that you want to be in a relationship and you talk to me about some of the things that you may have, or you like got stipulations or guidelines, the whole tall, dark, and handsome, and I want them slim, thick, and all that type of stuff. If you are confiding in me, I feel like you open the door for me to tell you, like, sis, you barking up the wrong tree, or brother, like, you can find a good woman. It don't matter what she look like, that type of thing.
Mhm.
But just to offer that to somebody, and I don't know your situation, and you haven't shared whether you family or not, ain't none of my business. If Auntie Cookie keeps showing up single, that's her business.
Big facts. Big
Yeah,
facts.
unless Auntie Cookie expressly says to me, like, man, I've been dating and I've been trying to look for this type of guy, and I want this and I want that, and I'll be like, Aunt Cookie, like, you live in Section 8, like, why then I might say that. But if Aunt Cookie, I don't have an Aunt Cookie, by the way. If Aunt Cookie didn't say to me that those types of things, they ain't none of my business.
At all.
Just like the chick
Oh,
on Facebook that posted everything on Facebook. You don't let me in your business, so I'm coming.
yeah. I'm telling
This
you,
is
I'm a firm
our
believer.
relationship
Our
now.
business now. This is our
Yes,
business. Because
yes.
it's like if you post it, comment it, status it, whatever, and someone says something, I didn't ask for your opinion. Yes, you did. You
But
posted.
I will say this. I am more prone. to ask questions that would make that person think rather than attack and um put my opinion on what they're doing.
Example.
So like if somebody says to me like, I'm talking to this guy and he's really rude though, like sometimes I'm embarrassed by him, blah blah blah. I would be like, so how does that make you feel? You know what I mean? Like when that happens, what are you thinking? Or like I would rather you come up with what I'm thinking than me tell you.
Bruh, that could be a stressor sometimes, especially when people start to dump. Like, have you ever just felt overwhelmed? I feel
Oh
overwhelmed
yeah, yeah,
sometimes when
yeah.
the questions start
I
coming.
check out.
And then it's
I'm
like,
I mentally check out. If y'all feel like you dumping too much on me, I mentally check
yeah, it's
out.
looking like what? And then don't be in a relationship and then show up single at the next family function because, good gosh, it's a wrap. What did you do wrong? Nobody ever thinks somebody else was wrong. They always think it's
Yeah.
that was
And
wrong.
when you tell the story, you're not gonna tell the part of what you did. You're gonna start off with so and so did such and such. Nobody, I'm that person that's gonna be like, well, why did he do that? What was happening before that?
I don't think you can have high standards. Some people may not match the standards they want, but I don't believe they deserve the bottom of the barrel. Facts. But do you
Yeah,
believe that they should put in some work on themselves in order to at least bring more to the table for what they're looking for? Because the
yeah.
truth is, if you're looking for someone who makes let's swing low. They make about $3,000 a month, and with their $3,000 a month, they are taking care of themselves, feeding themselves, clothing themselves, paying their bills, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
here you come and you work part time and you make well less than what they're making. And then you're saying, well, I want somebody who make at least 75 a year at least. And it's like, but what do you make? Like you
But
have
but
this
why though? That's the thing. Like
desire, you
why
have this
why is that? And I think why is that financial footprint always seems to be the first thing we look for in a relationship. Like we're looking for, everybody's looking for potential. But a lot of times, I never forget somebody told me sometime, I could tell how much money he'll make or what type of man he is by his shoes and his watch.
not true.
But I mean, I've heard that a lot from older people. Like if you want to tell what type of man he is, look at his shoes and his watch.
Oh wow.
And that's real old school because most everybody got the same doggone watches now. Everybody got an Apple Watch or a Galaxy Watch. But
Or
back in the day,
they got the one off Amazon that they paid.
that was what I used to remember hearing. Like, look at his shoes and his watch. And unconsciously slash consciously, when I see certain guys that might look good, I automatically look at his shoes. I will look at shoes so quick.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna miss out on the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world. They're gonna miss out
Yes, yes,
on certain people because if you look at their shoes, it's a wrap. Because
yes.
my husband used to work. He did security at a. It
Yes,
was
see, my mom said that's old school.
oh
It is.
they he used to do security. Well, he still does security, but he was securing a nightclub that was being built. And the guy who owned the nightclub pulled up. Yes, the car was beautiful, but when he got out, he had on like some khaki Bahama shorts and like a Walmart button-down shirt and some loafers, like boat shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Look like the
Mm-hmm.
little kids boat shoes, little basics. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's like this guy has so much money, it is
Mm-hmm.
sickening. But if
Yeah.
you saw him just walking down the street away from his car, because he did have a very nice car, but if you saw this man walking down the street, you're going to bypass him because if they checked his watch and his shoes, they would have walked past him.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I have noticed. I've started to notice, like that's definitely a cultural thing, because sometimes what looks like just khaki shorts and a button up to us is it's some expensive stuff. But if you're not used to seeing like those expensive loafers or those expensive khaki shorts, they just look like khaki shorts and loafers to you.
I'm nearly positive those were kids.
Well, I'm okay. But I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm not saying in that
in general.
situation.
In
I'm
general.
just saying in general. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like dealing with those situations or those stipulations, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, is it's definitely going to block you out from a lot of things. It'll block you out from a lot of things. What about when you're taking relationship advice from your single friends? Do you feel like taking relationship advice from people who are either not in relationships or not holding down successful relationships is a good idea?
So here it goes. I feel like you take advice on a certain subject from people who are successful in that subject. Now, just because my friend is single doesn't mean that they might not have any insight, but I am more likely to take it with a grain of salt
Mm,
because I'm like, you're not in a relationship, you don't understand. Or you can't hold down a relationship you don't understand. And I have single friends that'll tell you, like, I don't understand. You be like, girl, you good because I know that's why I'm single, and I respect that. But at the same time, if that's a person that doesn't want to be single, I would be like, well, you got to look at it like this. But at the end of the day, like, if you don't have no money, don't tell me about money. If you don't have no kids or your kids bad as hell, don't tell me how to raise my kids. And that's just me.
that's a fact. If I'm trying to grow and do more in my
Not Valerie.
I saw her. That's why I don't give advice. I can't with her. Uh,
I
but
just feel like you could give advice from your experience. So,
that's
like, if you look back at something, let's say you were married and you got a divorce, and now you have a married friend, but you're the divorced friend. I believe my divorced friend may have some insight on signs that things that I might not see because I'm still in the relationship, or things that they might have saw that led up to them separating or divorcing because I'm not paying attention. So those types of things yeah, I can maybe, but my single friend who can't keep a man, don't want to keep a man, no,
been
like what?
married
No.
15 times, all of that.
Just nod your head and listen when I'm talking because
I'm
I'm
not
just
listening.
venting.
I
Look,
won't.
because I'm just venting, and I don't really want your advice if I say something to you at all.
Hmm. I thought you were telling me to just nod and listen to them. I said, I'm not going to listen.
No, no, no. I was saying, yeah, I was saying for the
I won't
single
let them
friend to
listen
just
to
nod
me.
and listen to me.
Oh, she said, never take advice from a scorned woman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because that woman is scorned, they're always going to be coming from a place of that
that hurt
scorn, and
place.
that's
That hurt
and
place.
and it's funny because the people that I know who have been in relationships where they've been scorned, you could see the difference in like when it's fresh and it just happens, and then when that person starts to forgive the person who scorned them. Like it's different. It's like they take their self out, and it's not always, well, you better go ahead, there's that nigga cheating because that's what my man did, da 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 da.
Mm,
But once you actually truly remember, we went back to forgiveness. Once those women come out of those relationships and they've forgiven and they have just a regular relationship with this person who hurt them, they actually can have a lot of sound advice because they're coming from a place where they're not scorned anymore.
right, right. Where we talked about, like you said, with forgiveness is literally removing the blame from the issue. Like I've moved
Yeah.
on. I don't point the finger anywhere. I'm living my life with or without you. And I'm not holding it over you. Now, do I forget? No. But can I let it go? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with that,
Like
it's
once you figure out that person is a healed person.
mhm.
And I also feel like if you hurting and you're not healed, don't try to get nobody advice. Just be like, girl, I don't know, because my situation was messed up. I'm gonna pray for you.
Do you think since the pandemic started that these abrupt relationships have become more common just for the sake of I don't want the bid, so since I don't want the bid, I'm gonna just stick with this one person. Like that's my man and I'm gonna stick beside him.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. That's really sad if it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of I
Because it's sad if it is and you're in a toxic situation. That is really sad. to just stay with somebody because of a certain condition, that that's pretty toxic. Like even people who stay together for the sake of the children, like that relationship, if you are only together for the sake of the children, the relationship is doomed to fail. Because the whole point of us being in a relationship is to be in love with each other. So there's and marriage is supposed to be based on unconditional love. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is unconditional means that we got married on these conditions. But if this person's conditions change, you don't get to say I don't love you no more. You still have committed to that person. Unconditional is just that. That means if today I'm grumpy, you still gotta love me the same way as the days that I'm happy and
Right.
pleasant.
You don't hold that over me. You don't punish me for not being what I was when you first met me. For example, I've got in my family, there are long-term marriages, long-term relationships in my family.
Mm-hmm. They
So
gang. They die out.
with these long-term relationships, I'm gonna tell you right now, I saw a picture of my great aunt. She shared a picture of when she was younger. She had a cute little red dress on. Her hair was done. You hear me? And she was standing there like leaned to the side. I mean, slim as a twig. She was giving it. Okay.
Okay, okay.
But then here she is present day. That's when my uncle met her. But then here she is present day in her 80s. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look like that picture anymore. But
No,
if you
man.
see the way he smiles at her when she talks to
Mm-hmm.
him and the way they engage, it's like he still remembers unconditionally. She changed physically over time, but that is still the same beautiful woman that I
Yeah.
got back then. And
Yeah.
so it's like when you talk about unconditional love, it's like really learning and understanding what that unconditional part really means.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding what
And
that
it is
unconditional
great to learn that before you get married.
is.
It's a good idea to learn that before you put a ring on it.
Right. And then some people are connecting up with these people and they don't even have the same faith.
Yeah.
They're connecting up with these people. We don't even believe the same stuff. So if we don't believe the same stuff,
I,
we
I don't
hop
know.
in
I find
it.
that I've actually seen relationships where they on the outside it seems like they're fine and they have different faiths, but I don't know. I seem like I would find that difficult. That I would find it difficult. But then on the other hand, like people I know of that have different faiths than I like. It's different by tradition, but it's not necessarily different by belief. I should say.
I guess what I'm saying is when it's total opposites, not just in generalized sense, like where you're thinking structurally. I'm talking about like complete, total, and thorough opposite.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like you're getting with somebody because they were
Yeah, like if you're somebody who believes in saving up for the future, and then you hook up with somebody who believes in YOLO, that we only live once, we're gonna spend it all. Y'all gonna have a lot of conflict.
or I'm not gonna take this money with me when I die.
Yeah,
And it's like,
you're gonna
oh,
have a
okay.
lot of conflict.
It won't be no money when you die. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if it ain't no money when you die, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So
Figure it out.
I wanna kind of say like what types of things you should be looking for in a relationship. Just to think about because everybody's looking for a tall, dark, and handsome or slim, thick, shorty, and she gotta have money, she gotta have her own, and he gotta have her own. But that's not what's gonna sustain the relationship. So what three things we noted that you should look for in your partner? Number one is vulnerability. Like you should be able to be vulnerable with the person that you are seeking to be in a relationship with. And what that looks like is like, being able to express the things that hurt you or your dreams even is being vulnerable. But sharing your dreams with somebody is being vulnerable. Like, there's not many people that you want to truly share your dreams with and things like that, or things from your past or your hurt, and also that person being able to accept your vulnerability and not throw it in your face or use it against you. Like that's a big thing, don't you think?
Absolutely. That fear of judgment is indeed a beast. And
Mhm.
vulnerability, I added a note there. It's just like you can do it without fear of judgment. And sometimes you can be vulnerable scared. You can
Yes.
be vulnerable and scared. It's just that I'm trusting you with my vulnerability. What
Yeah.
makes it that vulnerable state to begin with is just simply the fact that it's not something you're freely giving or willing to share or divulge
Mhm.
openly like that. Um,
Yeah.
I saw another point that you had on there when you were talking about understanding, like how
Mhm.
tonight, even tonight, we were talking, but we weren't on the same page.
Yeah.
The fact is that just through discussion and understanding, we just kept moving forward. So
Yeah, and
it's
I was able to say, "What do you mean by that?" And you were able to say
right,
to me, "What do you mean by that?" Like that's that understanding
yeah,
because initially somebody could say something or do something and it makes you want to attack. But if this is a relationship and we love each other and we care for each other, I'm gonna take my time to try to understand where you're coming from and vice versa. And these are not one way streets. Like they should work both ways.
right,
Like,
right.
hmm and
And
then ultimately, go
we
ahead.
talked about forgiveness and things like that. We did talk about forgiveness can be one sided where you let go, but when you're dealing with an actual relationship, these things need to be reciprocated. They have to come
Mhm.
full circle. Like, I can't be understanding all the time. Like, I
Yeah,
should be able to have a moment where I just don't get it, but you should be able to connect to me and relate to the fact that you get she just doesn't get it. Can we just respectfully disagree for a second? Like,
yeah.
those things are crucial. And you put on here also kindness.
Yes.
You put that
And
kind.
that's what that all comes together with because if I'm understanding of you and I am accepting of your vulnerability, like to be mean and throw let's say that I shared with you that um I don't like this might be triggering for somebody on here. I don't like when you drive fast because I've been in accidents and it scares me, right? To be kind would be at least not drive like a complete jerk when I'm in the car with you. Or if you're upset with me, or if you're upset with me because you know that I'm vulnerable to being scared in the car, you just purposely gonna drive fast because you know I'm scared
Mm,
because you want to piss me off. That is not kindness.
mm, it's not.
That's not kindness.
Mm,
So to take my vulnerability and throw back in my face is not kindness. So that's where that kindness comes in, and just being able to to slow down, sweetie. Being able to be kind, like kindness is right now after this pandemic. I feel like everybody needed to go to a kindness class because, honey, the attitudes and the rudeness swerving out here got me ordering everything online because I don't want to throw hands up in Walmart and Target. But woo,
Girl,
kindness is like a thing people.
it had got so bad. People stopped hollering World Star. They just started recording.
Yeah, like come on, what happened to kindness? Bring it back. Hashtag bring back kindness.
Right. Y'all hashtag that down below. And we did not do this at all. We're coming to a close now, everyone, but we did not do that this evening. But if you are viewing us from Facebook, please go ahead and smash that like. Give us a share on this live so that we can get the word out about the melanin mindset. If you're viewing us on YouTube, go ahead and give us that thumbs up right now. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that for us. And feel free to drop comments down below. If you are viewing us on the playback, listen, you can still comment too, and we would love to hear from you as well. So we were talking tonight about Russian relationships, the real pandemic, and it looks like we just dug a little deeper on understanding what it is that you could use as a small guy. We are not professional relationship counselors or anything like that. We're just really
Mhm.
just having the conversation that needs to be had. Now, one thing I do want to add on to what you just said, Kia, kindness doesn't mean perfect.
No,
Kindness doesn't mean perfect. They are still going to have their days where they don't want to smell your breath. Kindness doesn't mean perfect. It
I
just means
even
try.
I even think it's kind for you to say, you know what, whatever is going on right now is rubbing me the wrong way. Let's just take a break. That's even kindness. I
Hmm.
still know you mad, but You at least just say,
Consider
I don't want
before
to talk
you
about it
lash
right
out. You know you feeling a type of way. So instead of
now.
just lashing out, you're like, give me a second, let me breathe. And kindness, like I said, needs to be reciprocated, which means if they're like, give me a second, let me breathe, give them a second and let them breathe. So
Yeah.
that way you can come back to it and talk to it later on. So with that, Russian relationships, the real pandemic, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be sure we're doing a couple of things. Number one, guard who you are taking your relationship advice from. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So guard yourself. In that process, you're able to guard your heart. Be careful who you take your relationship advice from. If it's the person who is in the dysfunctional relationship, you do not want to date their cousin.
Mm-mm.
That's not who you want. Okay. Now I'm
Mm-mm.
not saying their cousin can't be perfect. I'm just saying be mindful. You gotta,
Be
like you
mindful.
said, if you show somebody the five closest people to you, they can pretty much peg you down. So
Yes.
keep that in mind. And Kia, you put an awesome note here. Be yourself. Everything
Yes.
is already taken. You gave that one. Put that caption up on the screen, Gary. Where's
Oh
that?
wait, is it there?
I found it. I
Okay.
found it. Be
Yeah.
yourself.
Be yourself. Everyone else is always taken. And I came up with this because I see a lot of women. Okay. Oh no, that's what happened to made me think about it. I was at a wedding this past weekend or the weekend before. Was this weekend? I don't know. Anyway. Um and a lady walked up to me and she goes, "Girl, I can tell your husband love you. You gotta tell me where to go to find these men that like big girls." Or she said, "What I gotta do?" She said, "You gotta tell me where to go and what I gotta do to get these men that like big girls." And I was like, "Honey, just be yourself." I was like, "All you gotta do is be yourself and stop hunting for them. You are enough, and the person who is supposed to want you and be with you will arrive. You just gotta be ready." You just have to be ready. Be yourself. A lot of people put on, and that's why a lot of relationships end up in disaster because you done put on that you this sweet, kind, soft-spoken woman to get this man, and then when he piss you off and you loud and cussing him out, he like, who the heck is this? Like, if you loud and cuss, be loud and cuss when you meet him. No, not to say that, but I'm just saying, be your authentic self. You, the way you are, if you truly know yourself and know your self-worth, you are enough.
Whole facts. We got some quotes that are going to spin on the outro, but one in particular I wanted to go ahead and bring up. One of the quotes, and it's by someone who's at the Conjuress, and she says, "I'm a wife now is absolutely something to want to aspire to, but you're a wife to who? To what type of
Mhm.
person? To what type of lover, friend, support system? To what type of parent? Are they even your equal?" So, granted, you don't have to be at the same status level for y'all to be equal. That's not what it means. It's just the same amount of effort. Are they trying to come in where you are? I think that's where Kevin Samuels really goes wrong. And I'm sorry because we talked about him a lot tonight. Is not realizing that the dollar sign is not what puts the value
Yes.
on the person.
Yeah.
That's
Even that high value person.
right.
Yeah.
What makes them high value? How do you know what
Hmm.
they're doing to get their money is value? That balance is definitely going to be key. So
Yes.
as you all are walking into your week this week, what you're carrying away with you is understanding these relationships, and rushing into a relationship is not a solution to the holiday season. All right.
No.
If anything, bring your buddy with you to the cookout. If you ain't worried
Hmm.
having nobody there with you, just bring a sincere friend.
Hmm.
Bring a friend. Everybody has, hopefully, at least one. All right. So just bring that good friend with you. And
Also, be open to making a new friend. Go
oh,
there and be open to making a new friend.
so true. So true. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening on the Melanin Mindset. As always, it has been a pleasure. Thank you all for chatting with us about Russian relationships, the real pandemic. Now, we have a surprise for you all, something that we don't normally do. Now, next week, we do not have the topic to post for you. You have to tune in next week to find out what's going to be discussed on the Melanin Mindset.
Mhm.
Yes, and we're also going to be sharing with you all next week what our holiday plans are for our live stream. So if you want to find out what we're doing with
Yes.
the holidays, you want to tune in. So as always, thank you so much for being in with me. I am the Nappy Dreamer.
Ryan Kia Blaine.
And we are the Melanin Mindset. So thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.